So we're going to try a little more advanced animation, and as you've noticed in the previous installments, all we were able to do is basically move sections around. I have new sections here that were taken from a horror comic, and they're two hands. They're each on their own layer, like so. And my goal here is to have the hands manipulate the fingers a little bit like real creeping hands coming towards a person. So if all I can do is grab a hand and move it around, that isn't too spine tingling. That's not really what I want. In fact, I'm going to position it so the hands are a little smaller than they are. I'm going to use transform. Just free transform it. Position like so. Now this free transforming is not something you're able to do within the animation, but if I have different instances where the hands are warped and transformed, then those can be animated. I'll show you what I mean. I'm going to duplicate layer well, first of all, need to name these, because once you get a bunch of instances of them, they are going to be very confusing. So left hand, right hand. Okay, going to duplicate left hand. Then I'm going into my transform menu, and I'm going to choose warp. Warp gives you this grid, and you can reposition quadrants or smaller sections without affecting the rest. So I'm just going to move it slightly, hit enter. Now I'm going to copy my copy, and I'm going to warp it again. Ever so slightly. You can kind of see where we're going with this. Apply. I could continue this process and even do things like erase out fingers or reposition this finger up here. I might do that for one, just to show you guys, but this could get overly complex really quick. So I'm using polygonal lasso to get everything underneath this finger. Move tool. If I position it like this, I end up seeing it goes on top of my other finger, so instead I'm going to cut it, put it on another layer with paste. That's Control V. Control X is cut, Control V is paste if you don't know the shortcuts. Move that layer underneath. Now I can push these fingers up. And then I need to solidify this layer. So I'm going to use Command E on the Mac, Control E on Windows. And there's my this layer and layer hand copy 2. The only difference is that the fingers move up. I want it to be a little more different than that. I'm going to warp it even more. It's important that there is a difference between each one of these layers, and I don't really want everything to be in the same spot. Okay. Rename that as L hand 4, L hand 3, left hand 2, and left hand. There we go, got 4 instances of that. I'm going to do the same thing with the right hand. Warp. Now I'm only warping, but if you want to do things like have it scale differently, have a larger hand or a smaller hand, or you want to change the perspective, you can. Maybe I'll throw one of those on my next right hand copy. The point is, if you want to do transformations between frames, you're going to have individual layers that transform. So change perspective, like that.